Hey everyone, it's Chris from Stamp Blessings, and I'm back for my first virtual open house live tutorial. So today we're going to be looking at the layers of beauty, and you can find it on page 57 in the latest Stampin' Up catalog. This was a big hit at yesterday's in-person open house, and I can't wait to show you how we did it. So let me put this aside. Oh, and by the way, right now, Close to My Heart is having a bundle sale where normally you get 10% off of any bundle, but right now through the end of June, it's an extra 10% off. So this price would be $56.50 with the 10% off. Take off another $5.60, and you bump this bundle for the stamp and the die set down to under $50. Oh wait, guess what? It's the stamp set, the decorative masks, and the dies, so you get all three for just right at about $50. So that is a nice price point, and if you go ahead and use my hostess code, then you'll be entered into my mystery hostess drawings. So I have the old Stamparatus, and you might be familiar with that. If you have a Misty, that'll work great too. But we're going to be using just the masks today, and I'm going to show you how. And after the video, I'm going to show you if you don't have a Misty or a Stamparatus, there's still other ways to do that. And I'm going to get this off so we don't have a glare. So how I set up my template yesterday was I took a piece of cardstock that is cut to 4 and 5¼ inches. Okay, and I'll go ahead and later add that into the description. And I found kind of where I wanted my card base to be, just to show you this is going to be the end product. So I definitely have the stamp set going off the edges, and I'm going to go ahead and lay that down because that's going to stay put. Now there are 5 masks in this set. 3 of them are basically the flowers, and then 2 of them are for the leaves. I love these masks. I haven't cleaned them up from yesterday. I should have probably, but that's okay. I'm going to just spritz them after this. They do have a number here. You can feel it and see it. But because I was working with a lot of people yesterday, most of them hadn't ever stenciled before, it just made it easier for me to take a Sharpie and quickly mark those. So that's what I did. You'll see me using today Close to My Heart inks because that's really what I have on hand right now. But you can use any inks that you have, and hopefully you have some Stampin' Up inks that you're going to try this with. This is the sorbet. I'm going to lay it here, and I have some brushes, and I just carefully, and I'm really apologetic for that shine there. When I stencil, go off the stencil area first, and then come on in, and come in with a really light touch. Yesterday I didn't catch everybody right away, and people just tend to really grind it. We're going to be adding 3 layers in some of the sections, so without even having to change ink colors, I'm going to still get dimension, which is really cool. So I got a little bit dark on that edge, but for the most part, I kept it pretty light. Now I'm going to come in and just slip that second die in, or mask, I'm sorry, and it lines right up perfectly with that corner. And then I'm going to just come in again. Again, I like to start off the mask before I come into these open sections. And again, I'm going to just try and do a light swishing, swirling motion. Okay. And again, it's getting darker. You see, now I've already started to get that layer. Okay. And now our 3rd layer. I'm going to get a little bit more ink. What's so nice about this is you can just use one ink color, or I should have brought up my sample. I'll post it later. That's a good idea. Where I use different color inks, and that's beautiful too. Oh, I don't think I got that little corner, so I'm going to get that. And now, there you have it. I have 3 layers of color and a really beautiful shading. I did, because I laid these masks on top of each other, they're dirty on the back. You can't really see it, but I would say don't stack your masks like I just did, because the ink from this one went to the back of that one, to the back of that one. So if you're doing this, you know, doing a couple at a time, which would really make sense, it's fast, then you would want to not lay your masks on top of each other. And that's something I just learned live. So there you go. Gonna go ahead and close up this sorbet. These are the really old Close to My Heart ink pads, so you know I dug in deep. I did hear that Stampin' Up is considering using Close to My Heart's magnetic lids, but they warned us that that is a project that's at least 2 or more years off. The second color I'm using for my leaves today is Fern, so I'm gonna make sure that I grab a different brush. And now I'm going to go into stencil number 4, and again I just lay it up there. That's what's nice about using a Misty, a Stamparatus, any kind of these stamping platforms. And I'm going to come in light and just swirl it around, not too dark. Probably got darker than I thought, but that's okay. Like I said, these things come out beautiful no matter what. And now I'm going to go for that last stencil, for the 5th stencil. And here we go. So because there's other flowers involved, you could, as I mentioned, color these flowers in a different ink color. So you just have to, as you're swirling your stamp or your brush, make sure that you stop and change the colors for that. But I really like the effect of this. So that's basically this card. So many people decided to just leave it like that. In this card here, I don't know if you can tell, what I did is I used some almond, very light color, inked up my image, and then flipped it over because I had it already in the right position. I'm going to just try and bring that up close. Yeah, there you can see. Yep. Now this has a smudge from my open house, but that's okay. And then I just used the stamp set, So Lucky to Know You. That's from Country Flowers. I love that stamp set too. Another good one to get on bundle. And here you can see it without that extra inking. So both are just really, really beautiful. Well, let's say you don't have a Stamparatus or you don't have a Stamp-A-Majig. I don't think it's Stamp-A-Majig. Oh, a Misty, that's what I meant to say. You could use a shoebox, right? You could figure out where you want this, tape it down. This is a shoebox lid. And then come in and always bump your stencils right up to the top. So here you go, I could fit that in. That works perfect. Maybe you don't have a shoebox lid. So what you could do is just take a piece of paper. And this is just scratch left over from my open house How to Earn Tickets, which is going on today. You would run a piece of tape here so that it stays in position. I would go ahead and just mark the corners just to make sure that I don't, if I lift it and get it out of whack. And then I would lay down my first stencil where I wanted it. Let's say I want it like right here. You see that notch up there? I don't know if you can see that. I would take my marker and go ahead and outline that notch. Because now when I come back, for stencil number 2, 3, 4, and 5, I just line it up right there. And I can continue this whole process. So I hope that gives you an idea of how easy these stencil masks are. You can find them on page 57 of the catalog. You can buy them by themselves. Oop, and there goes the stamp case, but that's okay. So you can get just those masks, and those are $13, or you can get all three during the month of June, save an extra 10% on 56. So we're bringing it down right down to about $51. It's a great deal this month. The dies would cut out that image. The stamp would add that line that I showed you. You could even just stamp this in watercolor, which I've done. It's got some great sentiments. Grateful for you. You make my heart smile. The dies have a little tag that cuts out this God bless for a little tag, and they also include extra foliage. So I really like how Stampin' Up has extra elements in their dies. They match this, but then they have some add-ons. Well, I hope this gave you an idea of how simple these decorative masks are and how you can quickly, I mean that took just a few minutes, create really a beautiful piece of art. There's one other set in the catalog that you could check out, and it's called Enduring Beauty, and I probably won't find it now. I'm not even going to try, but it's Enduring Beauty, and it's towards the back of the catalog. I know a lot of people are getting still familiar with this catalog, but if you need help finding it, leave me a comment and I'll get you the page number. Well, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in a little bit.